let's go. So basically the start of any web design project is the initial design. So in order for us to start this project, we need to come up with the design. So the project is I have a website called alanspired.com. It's just got a kind of coming soon page or something like that. It was supposed to be for my design project company that I wanted to do, but I've kind of created another one called Digentis. So if you need websites or anything, then I'm here. So Alanspired, I'm converting it into a blogging platform for me and for creatives. So it's going to be open. I'll look at ways of monetizing or something that both the website can earn and the person who posts on it can earn, preferably the person who posts on it. So we'll look into that as well later on. But for now, we need a design. So that's what we're going to work through on this these sessions. So first things first, we need to create a we need to start with Adobe XD. Okay, I've used Figma before and I've used Adobe XD. Figma is great. I think it's an outstanding piece of kit. It's free, but so is Adobe XD. I can't use Sketch because I don't have a Mac and I don't know what world they're living in, that they only develop for Macs. And if they ported it over to a Windows system or a Linux based system, then maybe they'd be more popular, or they'll get a lot more fan base or a lot more users. But anyhow, I'm going to switch to my desktop. Don't need this. So I'm going to switch to my desktop here. I can bring this down and let's get Adobe XD loaded up. So we'll start with a new 1920 by 1080 project. And let's just basically kind of mock up, no design, it's a wireframe kind of effect of what we're going to do. So zoom this in. So let's have a box here. We need the navigation bar. So navigation bars somewhere at the top. So let's kick off here and size it. I think 50 pixels. Let's do 60. Maybe 60 pixels. No, that's too much. Too little. 65, 70, 80. 80 is alright. Okay. Okay, 80 pixels. That will be the nav. Okay, so let's just click here and put nav logo actually. So our logo will be somewhere here. Our logo will be here. Alright, we need some menu system. So let's have an about page. Yeah. Okay. Now with using XD, a lot of people kind of tend to do this, and they'll write the about, and then they'll put space, and then they'll write courses and space, etc. Now this looks good, it's easy, but using the functionality of when you start to link Adobe XD files, kind of Adobe XD pages from one page to the other to kind of create a prototype, this will pose as a problem because you can only link to one of these elements. So best thing to do is to isolate them. So you have this here, copy it, paste it, and then have the next one here. Yeah, duplicate this. Okay. Alright, these are just random pages I'm thinking of of doing. So we need a video section. I think having a tools section. There's certain tools that I might build for developers, and the blog. Okay. Now, space between them is a bit too much, so put it in there, and then just shift and right click twice to create 20 pixels. Maybe 30 is good. Yeah. And then what you do is when you bring this close, if you shift click to lock it in, you can, yep, that's 30 as well. And that's 30. And this. And this. Now they all have the same spacing. Now to make sure they're all in line, what we'll do is you can go to here and click this part here, and it will just align them vertically. Alright, now we can safely group these, so we can move them all at once and just bring it here. Another thing I forgot to do here, if you click on the website, the name here, double click on it, and then just put it as home page. Okay, click on it again to select the whole canvas, and on the right there is a grid system here. If you check this and switch to columns, and I think 12, I can't remember what the Bootstrap ones are, but they should be fine. We just need a 12 grid just to lock these in, and I think it's too dark here, so we can click here, just bring this down to some, so you can just barely see it, but you can lock it into it. And then what we can do is bring the logo element here, bring this element here. So now we have this structure here, so we have the shape that we need. Most websites now in the system that we are on the internet are using grid layouts. Whether you use CSS grids or Flexbox or what's it called, Bootstrap system, or any of these top-end frameworks, they'll be using some sort of grid system. You can manipulate the grids, but it's mostly you have a grid element, and then inside that element you have your flexibility in there. So that's how most of the sites are working. For this particular project, I'm going to be working on using Bootstrap. It's just the most popular framework out there, and it's easy to use, and I've been using it for a while, so it's convenient. There are others if you prefer to use, like Bulma. I can't remember anymore. But if you just Google kind of web frameworks, you'll find a few. Okay, but for this one, Bootstrap it is. We'll probably test out Bootstrap 5. I know it's an alpha stage, but I want to kind of get a play around with it. So we'll probably do that as well. So we have this set up in the header. Next thing we need is somewhere to post. So we have featured posts. So what I'm going to do is have a featured post, and then have kind of 4 sub posts with it as kind of the header place. Okay, just as a layout. So something like this. So if you click on this and then lock this out, and maybe have the hand is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think maybe have it 6, so it takes off half the page. Yeah, and then have this as well, but what we do is shift this to have there, and then do that. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then like something like that as well. So we end up with a perfect kind of a 6 grid, and then another 6 grid with 4 elements in there. All right. So the great thing about XD is locking images. So let's create a new folder. So let's go to elements. We go to uninspired. Yeah. And Actually, you know what? Yeah, images. So I can put the images in here. All right. So now let's go and get some images. The website I use to get images, it's kind of one of the nicest, and the images are really just really gorgeous. Great photographers, and it's all free. Is Unsplash. All right. So what we need is just search for a random thing. So let's have a look at blog. Yep, this looks good. Let's load this up. We need 5 images. So we need 1 here and 3 here. Okay. So let's look. So this is 1. Let's load this one up. What else? Let's load this one up. And this one up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 more. And maybe this one. Okay. 5. All right. So let's download these. Just click here. Let's start downloading. All right, so let me just do something first and switch to here. I just want to clean up my downloads folder. I think I have it. God knows how much. Just call this old. Got 100,000 files in there. All right, let's switch back. All right, so here we are. So these are the files we have. If we switch to kind of a better view, we can see which one we need. Now bring this down. Now this is the nice part of XD. So we have this system. Bring this down to the side. So let's have this light bulb. So all you do is click the light bulb and drag it in, and just go over one of the squares you've created or places. Just let go, and that's it. So let's have one there. Let's have this here. Let's have this here. Let's have this here. And let's have this journal here. Okay. Now, I don't like the way this has, it's too far down. So if you double click on, undo. If you double click on the image, you'll get to this kind of, you can actually control the image. So now if I bring this up, just press shift to lock the alignment, and you're done here. You can also zoom in, so you can decide if you want to be kind of zoom in here a bit. All right, then bring it down a bit. You have that ability to zoom in, expand. You just basically control what you want. All right, next up we need titles and what is it? Kind of a description for the actual blog post. So these elements here are going to be blog posts, but we need some kind of title or some kind of thing for it. So let's just throw in a box here. So let's have it this long. I think I don't want to damage the image, so having it somewhere like here. Let's think what size would be good. Let's take this up a bit. I think eyeball it. If you press shift, you can open both, but I don't want to do that. So how about like somewhere here? I think maybe I like 5. So 125. Yep. Then lock this down. All right, we have this here. Now that image is slightly off, so if I double click here and just slide this up, we have nice. All right. Next thing we need is the title. So let's go. Let's try something. How about before you can master design, you need to master color and lighting. master the fundamentals of color and lighting. All right, that's nice. All right, here's the part where I want to have the actual font. I think having it as Lato is a bit off. I'm a big fan of Open Sans, so just have this as Open Sans and make this bold. Okay, for the logo, you can just select each of these elements inside this and convert this to Open Sans, and then this one as well, Open Sans. All right, so now we need to make this bigger, so let's bring this here. Okay, and if you click this button here, you can convert it into, so if you click this button here, so you have your area text and your single line text. Currently this thing here is a single line, so if you keep writing, it will kind of keep going on and on and on one line. Yeah, so what we can do is have it on multiple lines automatically. So basically lock in the grid like a site. You can lock in the width of it and make it grow as you want. So if you click this button here, now it's locked. So what we can do is just reshape it. You see that? Increase this size. So I think we should 30, yeah. Probably make this bold. Yeah. I think maybe 30 is a bit too much. 28. Yeah, and then I spelled this wrong. All right. So here, and then if you double click here, you can just close that off. So now we have this multi-line here. So if we come here, and I think if we put, so each one of these is a pixel. So if we go 5 pixels down, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pixels down, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pixels to the right, 7, 8, 9, 10 pixels to the right. So we end up with a buffer. So what I tend to do is, in order to get the same width or the same buffer on the right hand side, what I'll do is push this all the way to here, and then I click to the right, then I bring this back here, then I press shift to the left. So you'll end up with, can you see here? You'll end up with a gap. I'll just zoom in a bit. The gap here, the same as this. All right. So that's that. I think we might not need a description for this, but what we'll need is, because I think the title's descriptive enough, all we'll need is probably a read more kind of thing with that. I think having that as bold is just overkill. So change this to like a regular, and having it 28, I think 18 should be enough, or 16, I think it's the normal size. So Bootstrap uses a base of 16 pixels, and then what it does is it calculates everything after that base using a RAM. It just makes it more responsive. So, and it also gives you a chance to, if you change the base pixels to 14, it will automatically resize the whole site. So it just gives you one area to control. It's really useful for when you have a increase or decrease size button on your site for accessibility reasons. Maybe some people struggle to see certain texts. You could just, whenever they click that, you increase by 1 pixel the main base font, which gives you that kind of control. All right, so here we are. Let's bring this here. All right, maybe if I zoom in a bit. Now, with regards to colors, I haven't decided anything yet, but we'll probably grab them from the actual Uninspired brand. That way, we have this kind of brand awareness. So we'll go into that in a bit later. Right now, it's all about just laying out the stuff. So we need to recreate this as well. So if we shift click these 3 elements, let's start with the base. Just click this, shift, and then just copy paste it, and then bring it here. Okay, and as before, I think this is big. Maybe we can bring this down to say about 2. So what we can do is bring that and that all the way to there. Okay, double click on this and increase this, decrease this to 20. I think maybe that's a bit too. Yeah, maybe we just make it semi-bold as well. And if I just get rid of this, you'll know. Okay. And okay, what I can do is actually undo that. Yeah, double click on that. So you end up here. But I think getting rid of this gives us a bit more control. Just keeps it on 2 lines. And actually, you know what? Leave it. Leave it, because we don't want to have that restriction for these. All right. So now we've done this. We could just select these 3 elements. Okay, group them. Select these 3 elements and group them. Now we just need to press the Alt button and shift click down, and then Alt, and then Control and click this. So actually shift click and then press Alt Shift to the right. Oops, I did a mistake. Okay, shift click here. Alright, so now we have these 4 elements ready. We need stuff underneath. Let me just bring this to the right a bit. So 1, 2, 3. And bring this as well. 1, 2. I think here, and this is 2. Alright. So let me just save this. And just call it Uninspired Design. Alright. So what we need to do is do the other part of the page. So, but as you can see, we can't go down here. But what we do is click on this, and for the height here, all right, what I tend to do is just times this by 3, and just 1 second. Hello? Hello? Delivery package. I'll show you what that is later. Alright, anyway. So, as I said, so you click here, go to the height, and then what I'll tend to do is just times it by 3. You could just doubles it, and it just gives me another viewport underneath. I wouldn't recommend changing the viewport unless you work with a different device. So if you're working for mobile, it just gives you a cutoff point. This is where the viewport is. So you know that anything above this line is the first point where the site gets displayed. You're expecting it as a 1920 by 1080. It could change, but it's the first point. Alright, let's start with the second part. I think second part, we need like a CTA, a call to action, just to get people to like subscribe or something. I think it's a useful way of doing things. So let's just grab this, shift click here. I think maybe that's too long. Actually, just expand it all the way. So that's there. So from left to right, let's just fill it with a kind of a grayish color just to show it off a bit, and make this about 450. Too big. Let's go 400. Yeah, 400 sounds all right. 400 pixels. And what we can do is here is let's have a message saying get fresh updates on email. Let me increase the size of this, 35 I think. Yeah, and then have this here. Alright, and then just have a second one underneath, and then it says will never I don't even know what to write. So probably will never share your email with third parties, but will set, and you can opt out at any time. I think that's a bit stupid. How this? So subscribe now and get the latest content to your here again. Yeah, something like that. I'm not really a content writer, so I kind of struggle with the writing. Okay, and just have this as a regular, and maybe have this as 16 pixels. Actually, slightly bigger. Let's do it as 18. All right, and then so just bring this down to like 4, and then just bring underneath. All right. We can afford to make these white, so let's just switch this to a white, and then make this slightly darker. Yeah, and I don't like borders, so throw that border away. All right, now on the other side we'll probably need a email box or something like that, so let's just throw this in there. All right, I'm just going to build this out big, and then we'll scale it down. So set this at 100 and say it's at 700, so 7 to 1. Have another, actually just have another one of these here, and set this to 300. Yeah. All right. And then what you can do is click on this. Nope, I don't want this. So select. Yeah, I need to make the edges slightly rounded here separately. So now, nope. So let's go here 5. So 5. Nope, nope. And then 5 here. Actually, let's do this 15. 15. Yeah, and then on this side, let's do the same, but 15 here, 15 here. So we end up with a nice curvature, and make this also kind of a slightly different grade. and then have some text box that says enter. Actually, delete this. Okay. Okay, have this here, group this. Now bring this here, shift click here, and shift once, and then just scale it down. Actually, turn this shove. Yeah, and then just shift click down. Why is it doing that? Turn it off. And then just shift. Yep. Alright. I think what we can do is have this slightly bigger than this. Alright. So we have this, and then just lock it in the middle of these two. Okay. And then just have a text, not white, have it in black, and then just hit enter, email. Alright, so now this color I just used, I want to lock it in. So, oops, put that color and then just lock it in. So now I can go back to it whenever I need. Make this not bold, just regular. Do about 25. Actually, 20 is good. Alright, and we can put this here. And we need another one of these on the other side. And this will be just sewn up. Cut this out. Alright. Here, and then these have. Okay. So now if we just turn this off. Alright. Maybe we can make this slightly smaller. I think maybe 300. Yeah, and then just select these up. Yeah, I think, and then we can just group this whole thing element off. So this will be like a CTA. I need to know how much the gap is here. So another trick I do is just come here and then shift click between these two elements. Put it in the middle. Lock. And then lock. Zoom out. Bring this down here. And then bring this up to here. Alright, and then get rid of it. See, this will give me the exact difference between the bottom and the top. I think maybe we can center this slightly or stretch it out a bit. We'll come back to it later. I think might make this slightly more rectangular. That'll be a bit better. All right. We'll come back to that later. Having changes is all part of the game. All this is just preliminary. Most of the time, as soon as we start coding, the marketing team or the client you're working for or something will just turn around and say, "Can you change this?" Even though you've agreed on it and you're halfway through coding, you just need to suck it up and say, "Sure, we can change that." But it depends on the change. See, if it's a big change, you bill for it. Extra money. Alright? Anyway, so I think for the home page, I think we can just end it there. I don't think I want to make it that much deeper for now. Let's just create a footer. So let's start with another box. Let's turn this back on. Let's check if there's any questions. No, we're all good. All right, so let's turn this back on and just center this. All right, now here, it's all the way here. Well, I got this. Let me see. This is 600. I like round numbers. I don't like these point something numbers. It's easy to work with. Mathematically, you just either divide or something. You don't want to be left with point X or a decimal. All right, so we have this. So let's have some content in there. So because there's 12 elements, so what I'm thinking of doing is have 4 of these, yeah, and then 3 here, 3 here. Actually, since this is probably going to be what can I do? Let's try this out. Okay, so we'll have here, and then have the logo here. Okay, or actually company name, and then have this here. Have another text box. By the way, text box. If you click on the text tool, if you click once, it will give you a single line. If you click and drag, it will give you the multi-line tool. So kind of a quick way of doing it instead of going there. But it's good to know both, because that way you have a chance to change it. Alright, I need some code, some text. So if I go to Lorem Ipsum, just generate some random mumbo jumbo. Should generate. I don't need much. I just need probably the first line or something. Yep, that should be enough. Okay. So this will be likely about a little. Sometimes at the bottom, it will just have a little about maybe the address or something like that. We'll probably need some. I think 40, maybe a 40 by 40 would be good if I zoom in here. So we have here, come shift down, yeah, and then have here 1, 2. These will be just like social media links or whatever you want to. Maybe we can just increase the size of it. No, I think we're fine. Alright, just bring it down to here. Alright, so let's have this element here. Like that. Maybe increase this. Actually, definitely increase. Make this about 30 and bold. Okay. All right. And then have. Let's skip one. and then have this as tools. Yeah, and then and then links. And maybe have some categories. You don't want all the categories of a blog here. I think these would just be like maybe 5 of the top ones, and the other pages here. These are just going to be links. So sometimes, a lot of times, well, the trend at the moment with footers is to kind of instead of having a footer which just says copyright, whatever it is, you'll have a kind of a section at the bottom that replicates the navigation structure, and it just allows, when the user kind of scrolls to the bottom of the page, it just allows them sometimes to just say, oh, let me go to this page. Most of the time, user or viewer, visitor of the site will just abandon the site. But if you do manage to get them to that sweet bottom at the top, you don't want them to just go away. You show them something else that will maybe pull them into another page. Maybe you have a calculator or just something for that company that will just allow the user to say, oh, let me see this. This looks good. Your aim as a web designer and a web developer, or whether you're doing UI or UX, is to try and retain the customer for as long as possible, or the client, or actually the customer, the visitor of the page. So if they do get somewhere, your job is to just keep them scrolling, or keep them going somewhere else. If they abandon, which a lot of them do, it's either something's wrong with them, or something wrong with the message you've kind of put in. One of the two. And we use tools like Google Analytics, and there is a Hotjar. There's a lot of tools are out there on the internet. Some of them free, some of them paid, and their main job is just to kind of analyze the site and kind of, I wouldn't say predict, I could just say show the person who's analyzing it, the analyst, exactly what's going wrong. It's just a way of, just like a debug tool, it's just a way to realize, oh, we're losing a lot of clients here. Okay, why isn't this client buying from us? He gets all the way to this point and doesn't buy. Maybe the button isn't available, or maybe something's happened, or maybe they've just abandoned it because the price is too much. There is different reasons why customers or clients leave, but having the ability to see where, and then you can kind of find the why. All right, so we have this for, I made it smaller. Let me just 400. Perfect. All right, let me just select these. Just center this in the middle. All right, and have 1, 2 from here. All right, so what I've done is I've created so we have, this one is a 3. All right. So it's a 3-column one. This is a 2-column. This is 2-column, 2-column, 2-column. Now for this here, this column here is, let me just show you what I mean. Once you figure out how to structure sites using columns, it kind of, you can easily kind of figure out and structure the pages differently. A lot of times you fall into a trap of, all the pages on the internet kind of start mimicking each other. But that's where the UI comes in, the UI designer. You can use the grid system, but at the same time tweak it to make it look that much better. Not everything needs to be kind of in a grid. There are some times where you can get designs to overlap several grids. But I don't know if we can show it here, but maybe we'll get a chance to. All right, so here we have the 3 grid, and we have 2, 2, 2, 2. In this center one, I'll just draw it here. In Bootstrap, you have this ability to offset one grid. And it's nice to have a little gap between all this stuff and the about section. So what I'm doing here is I'm just offsetting it. So we're still using 2, 4, 6, 8 here, but we have 3 and then 1 missing here. So we're still using 12. All right, now what we need is some legal ending to this. So we have this here, set it to about 50. Actually, you know what? 80. All right, and drag it all the way to the end. Let's color it the same color. So if we click here, same as this, bring it to. All right, now what we need is a copyright. So can't remember it is. Is there a way? One second. Alt. All right. Can't remember the symbol for it, but anyway, here, so copyright, and then we just have 2020 company name. All right, and what we can do is not make this bold, just make this regular. All right, zoom in, bring this here, this becomes white. And this here, and just 1, 2. Actually, you know what? 25 sounds good. All right, so company name, and then all rights reserved, or whatever the legal one is in your area. And then on the right, actually 25 is huge. All right, and 2. And then on the left, all right, you just have your tag on there. You can have your company logo or whatever it is. Right, just something to say that so and so designed the site. Okay. Now, if we turn this off, okay, because I clicked on the color wrong. Okay, so we have here. Let's take this off and just put company name. All right. Select this. What we can do is, actually select this and just. All right. Just to make it lock it in. All right. Now to see how this is, you just click the play button here, click on that, click play, and it will show you how it looks, and then you can scroll through it. And that's how the site will look. I think it looks pretty simple, nothing much, but hey, we'll add to it as we progress. Let me just check. I've got 8 minutes left before I call this the day, and then we'll work on it another day. But yeah, so this is the UI. Alright, so this is the UI, and we need another page. So we have the main page, and we're going to need a lot more pages. So let's have a look and see what kind of pages we need. Alright, so on a blog, there is the main homepage. There are the sub pages of a site. It could be any page. We have the blog listing. So basically that's every single blog, and it allows you to kind of filter through and see which one by category, but it's the listings of all the blog posts and the actual blog post. So we need about 5 pages or 4 pages. So let's have a look. So if I copy this whole element here and then just call this blog listing, okay, and then just delete this whole section. Copy this here and call this blog post, and then copy this and call this the other page. Alright, we can come back to that. So we have the blog listings. Blog listing page is pretty straightforward. We have these elements here. So let me just turn this off, turn this on. And if I come back here, so we have this element here. So if I just copy this, actually, if I copy this whole thing here and paste here, just zoom out. Alright, and what I can do is want to maintain that gap. Kind of feels important. I don't know why. So we have this, and then we can come here and have this here and make this bigger. So times 2. Okay, and we can just have one more of these here. Okay, so how many is this? 4, 8, 12, 16. Maybe we don't need this. So 4, 8, 12, 16. We need another set. Let's have 20. And just get rid of these. 20 posts on that page. And then what we can do is just copy this whole element here and just end it the same way. So we have here, and I really should just take how much that is, that gap. Actually, let me get rid of this here, and then just make this gap 70, and make this gap 70, and make this 70. Okay, nice round numbers. I told you I hate that, having these other numbers. Okay, and here make this 70. Okay, just put this here. All right, and then we can just close this off here. have a look at this. So if we click here and then click here, this is how this will look, and you'll just see the blog posts. We can refine this later. I think we can kind of have maybe a featured post if we need it. I don't think we'll need it. Or maybe other stuff. Not sure what we'll need. Search fields maybe here. Categorization. Actually, yeah, let's add that here. So let's have a look and see. All right, first category. Actually, I can just delete these here and then just have is it worth having actually the categories and then just have plus here. How do I have it? Let's just put this here. Alright. It's just as soon as I click on it, I'll get a drop down list of the different categories. Or maybe have this at the end. So just if I throw this at the end here and then have here. So I have web, design, database, mobile, and then others. Let me just put more here. Alright, this will be list. So they'll come, they click here, here, and just make this one bold. Alright, so they'll come, they'll click here, 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 or here. It says for different categories. And maybe I can have a category section. And then here is, I can just have here, search. And ungroup this. I don't need this. I just need this here. here, search. And what I can do is just make these 40 and slightly up like that. Alright, and then yep. Yeah, something like that. I think there was a way. Yeah, there we are. This is pretty new, this thing here. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so we'll have something like that. Just a simple. I think we can bring this down a bit. I'm not really too keen on that. So maybe about 1, 2. Yeah, I'm good with that. And then just stretch this out to be there. And something went missing. Alright. So now we can have a look at this and say, look. Yeah, so they come in. The branding is still there. The nav bar is there. So the nav bar is going to be constant. It's going to stay there at the top. The footer as well is going to be constant. It's going to stay there. And the CTA as well will be always on every page. Alright, but here we have this part of the page. So we have the links here, we have the search facility here, and then you have the blog posts. Okay, and then you have this thing here. So I'm good with this. So what we can do is now is if we go to prototype and then zoom to here and click on this part here and drag it and put it onto the list. So now if we go back to design and press here and press play, so this is the site and blah blah blah. If we come to blog, now it's a link. It'll take you to this page. And what we can do is go back to prototype, go back to here, and then drag this back to here. And the same for these here. Yeah, we can link the about page to here, and link this to here, and link this to here. All right, so kind of rough links. Can you see them how they work? A bit messy, but we'll show you. So now, if they click on the blog, it will take them to the actual blog lists. If they click on the company name, it will take them back to the home page. If they click on the blog post, take them to the blog post page. Click here, will go home, and click about will go to the about page. So that will give us, I think I've gone over by about 5 minutes, but I'll stop there. This will give us some time to work on the blog post and the other page. So what's going to happen on the next, I think next week, or I'll schedule a day, but mostly next week, Thursday, we'll go over the blog posts and other pages and build them out, and maybe do some tweaks for the home page, and then we'll look at colors. Well, the blog post might take a long time, but I'll kind of simplify it quickly, and then we'll look at branding, how we can implement the branding. So the current site I have there is this. As you can see, it's using a kind of a reddish, kind of a red green, kind of, yeah, red and green kind of Christmas shit. I might change that, but I kind of like the colors slightly. Maybe use less of the red. These don't work. And then the logo, we have a different version of it, more of a long version. But what we'll look to do is taking the kind of brand and implementing it in the design we have. So this is the quick mock-up, and then the other one is working with the brand. So making sure we follow the brand guidelines or whatever it is that is there. That way, when a company comes to kind of, when you work with a company, either you're going to build their brand, or maybe someone else has built the brand already, and your job is to make sure that you follow that. That way everything looks similar, and you don't want to have a really nice site but all the other brand is crap, or all the other brand is different and then you have a really weird site. Yeah, you don't want to use red when the whole site is yellow. It's just this brand consistency is very vital, and we'll talk to that we'll talk about that probably on a other episodes, or maybe on my YouTube channel. I'll have the link available for it as well. I'm still building that, but stay tuned, and hopefully the more people who are participating in this course, let me switch back to, so hopefully the more people participating in this course will allow us to kind of take input from users and manipulate some of the stuff from here. So it's more working with others. The coding part will get even funner, and integrating with the CMS is going to be a huge project, and I look forward to that. So stay tuned,